And our voices are up.
Are we now?
Yeah,
Are we now?
another Sunday, another Father's Day.
No way.
The
Is it
day
Father's Day?
it is, yes sir,
Yeah,
yes sir. And the day after Juneteenth, I gotta say, man.
dude. Yeah, how about that? I know you probably didn't know this, but Juneteenth happens to be my mother's birthday, believe it or not. So
Really,
yeah, yeah. So it was my mom's birthday yesterday.
that's
So
cool. Happy birthday to your mom.
happy birthday to my mom. How about that?
That's really cool, man. And that's a cool. You know, especially now that it's a federal holiday. I think it was just made this week as a federal holiday,
It
right?
was. I was supposed to work yesterday, and ended up getting the day off because the army because it came down so because the order basically got it came down so fast. The army said and kind of they left it up to the individual units. Basically, they said next year you don't have a choice. This year, because of the short notice, if you are not busy or whatever, like you can give your soldiers the day off, or if you're like already in the field or already doing something, you know, okay, sucks to suck this year, but next year, no excuses, right? So,
Oh,
but
okay.
because of the unit I'm in, I got the day off. I got the day off yesterday.
I
So,
like that, man. I like that. I think it's long overdue. Obviously, as many
yeah,
people would agree. I
absolutely.
think I think it's very cool that now it is recognized as an official holiday. I know there were some people at work that were at my job trying to take off because of the day, and hey, they were granted it. Hey, why
Good,
not?
good, good. Fucking fuck yeah.
Yeah,
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. That's like
you
it
know.
was a great day in history, and for anybody out there that isn't familiar with Juneteenth and the story behind it is basically when the Civil War ended and the right side won because the right side fucking won the Civil War.
Cigarette?
Um, it ended in April of 1865. In June of 1865, it took until June of 1865 before slavery was officially made illegal. Basically, like they finally said, like slavery is not okay to have in this country, and that proclamation came out on June 19th. So that is the baseline of the story behind Juneteenth. And Juneteenth has been traditionally celebrated primarily in the African American communities, but it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year, and it's been celebrated since then. And like John was saying, it's a historical thing, and it's long overdue. And we here at DD214 are very very happy to celebrate it and to bring in and usher in a new era where Juneteenth is celebrated as a officially recognized federal holiday. So happy Juneteenth to everybody out there.
I love and
Slavery
I
slavery is not okay.
Yes, sir. And I also want to add in how like the cool little like how they put June 19th into one word, Juneteenth. Like that's like
Right.
it doesn't sound dumb. Like it sounds like it goes together. It sounds cool.
It
It,
does. It sounds like a fucking party, which it fucking should be. Like it sounds like it's Juneteenth. It's a fucking party,
yeah.
man. Like let's celebrate the fact that it's no longer okay to keep fucking human beings in fucking shackles, and subjugate them to our own fucking wills anymore, right? Like let's celebrate that shit. Let's
Absolutely.
celebrate that shit.
Absolutely, man. And I got a really cool thing that I read about Juneteenth, not about the day, but about uh, uh, a really cool African American unit from New York called the Harlem Hellfighters, which I'll get into later
Oh,
after
so,
our.
like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
actually a pretty cool how I stumbled. I was just looking, deep diving and shit, and I found this story, and I was just so intrigued that I have to tell it in honor of
I'm,
the
look,
holiday.
I'm that actually looking forward to that.
Yeah,
It's good, man.
yeah, man. But how you doing this week, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, yeah, for the most part. I don't know. I'm probably gonna sound like a bitch, man, but I don't care. I just, I've really been missing my girlfriend this week a lot, and I get to see her. I get to see her. Next, I mean, today's Sunday, so it's technically next week, but it's about a week. I get to see her in about a week and a
Yeah.
half, and so, and I've just been being a little bitch, and my my daughters went back to They went to West Virginia with their grandparents for the summer, so they left. So like I have like this empty fucking house right now, and it's really quiet. And I've been trying to keep myself. I've been trying to keep myself busy, and I have been keeping myself busy. But at the same time, like it's a little too quiet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sometimes too quiet. You know,
It's too quiet.
when
And
you're alone, you're alone by yourself, and when you're alone by yourself, you're alone with your thoughts, and
there you go.
you know,
And I'm my girlfriend has been taking very, very good care of me, and she does amazing things. And I unfortunately I'm not always the best Jay, and so I act like a fucking little bitch sometimes. And I wish I was with her in person, because I just she makes the whole world better.
that is
She makes
probably
the whole fucking world better. So I just yeah.
that's probably the most beautiful thing I've heard come out of your mouth, man.
You're probably not
The
wrong.
most positive thing too. Oh my God, guys, this is real. This is happening. This is
Yeah.
happening, and and it's cool too, because me and my wife were talking about our Kansas City trip, and
Yeah.
she would say she wants to meet her in video in Skype or something soon, so that it's
We
not
can
like
do
a
like we're all strangers.
yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah,
We can definitely set up like a Skype call, and we can all talk for a little while. That's fine. That's too easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and also I'm thinking about
she's
bringing
amazing.
a baseball too for us to sign too. Two baseballs, one for me and one for you, and we'll all just sign it. We'll keep it. Nice little
Like
memorabilia.
that. That's a good idea.
Hey, you
Like
guys, you got to sign the baseball, man.
dude, you're gonna dig. You're gonna dig. You're gonna dig. Well, I still call it Royal Stadium. I always call it Royal Stadium. It's called Kauffman Stadium
Kaufman,
now.
but it's Royal
When I was
Stadium.
when I was a kid, it was Royal Stadium. And yeah, like I can't wait for you to see it. I can't wait for you to experience like that magic at the ballpark, man. Um,
Dude, I'm just like I want a ballpark Frank. I haven't had a ballpark
oh
Frank
dude, oh dude,
in fucking years.
me and my lady went to a Royals game. Was it last month? I was out there like last month, I think, or whatever. And we went to a Royals game, and I got like the big one. Obviously, that they're not cheap. Nothing's cheap at a ballpark.
Yeah.
But it was, but you have to have that part of the experience, right?
Of
You have to
course.
at least drink one beer. You have to at least eat one hot dog, right? Like that's part of like the ballpark experience.
And you
Right?
got to get it from a guy that's screaming hot dog. Here, get your hot dogs.
I don't think they do. They don't at Kauffman Stadium. They don't do the hot dogs in the stands anymore. They still do beer, and they do cotton candy, and I want to say they do popcorn.
Oh, cotton candy.
Don't they don't. You have to go to the concession stand for hot
said
dogs.
you said
Yeah.
cotton candy and popcorn. You said my kids' favorite things: cotton candy and popcorn.
Cotton candy, get your cotton candy here.
It's gonna be world record paying $35 for a bag of popcorn. I'll tell you that much.
But it'll be worth every. It'll be worth
It'll
every.
be so fucking buttery. It'll be so good. What?
Hey, Deshaun, thank you. Happy Father's Day to you, homie. Happy Father's Day to
Happy
you.
Father's Day to Sean.
And John, happy Father's Day to you, brother.
Oh, thank you, man. Happy Father's Day to you. Oh, baby.
Yeah, I was
Nick
good.
Nick
I was
said
really,
in the
I was really.
chat, we should totally have a Skype double date when Jay is here.
I just want to send a shout out to all the dads out there. Like, good job fucking hitting the target, man. You shot expert on the range.
You shot
You know?
expert.
You shot expert on the fucking range. So good job. You ended up with some fucking crotch spawn. You know what I mean? Like, good job with the fucking congratulations on the sex. Like you have living proof. You have living proof that you had sex at least as many times as children as you have. So
Yeah.
congratulations on that. Good job. Like, happy Father's Day. I hope everybody out there is having a good day.
And I hope for those who are not home, for all the soldiers and servicemen not home, celebrating Father's Day without, their
Yeah.
children or their fathers. Hey, you out there too. You're doing the thing as well, man. You're doing the
Yeah.
thing as well.
You guys keep on keeping on, man. I've missed several Father's Days. I'm usually
Keep on keeping on. I love that line.
life. Life has a funny way of keeping me away from my kids on Father's Day. I don't know quite what it is. Like this year, my in-laws were out here staying with me and helping out a little bit for the last couple months, and they had to go because they'd been out here for a couple months, and they ended up leaving earlier this last week. So Father's Day happened, and like it's Father's Day and my house is quiet, but it's also Father's Day and my house is quiet. So am I really complaining or am I not complaining? I don't know what am I? I miss my beautiful children, but it's quiet in my house, and I kind of like it sometimes. So
Hey,
so
sometimes quiet is good. Sometimes you need a little peace and quiet. And thank you, baby.
dude, I'm gonna
Appreciate
tell you,
that.
brother. I'm kind of debating on taking myself out for a fucking meal later, just sitting by myself and eating a meal by myself. Like,
Hey, hey, sometimes that's okay too, man. That's okay
yeah,
too. You know.
yeah,
And
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
before we get to game news, I got something I want to talk about.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it real quick.
So
Go ahead.
I've done every type of research that I can on this, and if you haven't been following baseball, a lot of the pitchers are getting hit with this. They just got hit with it with a ban. It's for this substance that's been called it's spider tack. It's like a goopy,
Yeah.
tacky substance, and it's
Yep.
supposed to help with the grip of the ball. Now,
Right.
this it hasn't been technically made illegal for a long time. A lot of pitchers have been using this for a long time, but they've also been using rosin and sunscreen to get a good better grip on the ball. But the problem is that with the spider tack, it's increasing their spin rate and velocity and turning their baseballs into fucking bullets.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
and the big problem that I've been understanding is that the MLB, they have the lowest hit records in baseball in like
in
years,
history,
because in history, yeah.
it's in history. It's in history. It's there are historical lows on batting
Yeah,
averages
and this
in
and this is it. We're
Major League
here.
Baseball right now. We're talking going all the way back to what they call the dead ball era. So we're talking like back when like Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner and
When they were still
uh,
doing the spitballs.
when I mean literally it was called the dead ball era because like it was that's why Babe Ruth got so huge being a big home run hitter because home runs were not common back then. It was literally called the dead ball era. So I want you to finish, John, because I already have an
Yeah,
opinion on this. So I want being a longtime baseball fan, I want you say your thing
yeah.
because I'm just going to start ranting. So you
Yeah.
continue
Now,
what you're.
now it's no secret. Pitchers use pine tar, the sunscreen, and rosin, but the spider tack seems to, shoot their RPMs increasingly high, like super high. And one pitcher in particular, Garrett Cole,
Mm-hmm.
he's pretty much. And I can't believe he's a fucking Yankee. And the guys, I hate to say it, but the guy, it was an idiot answering this when they asked him, "Oh, like, do you use spider tack?" He was like, "I don't know how to answer it." Like, we know you fucking use it. Just say you use it. You use it to help with your
Why?
pitching. You know,
Why you being a little bitch? Yeah. Why you
there.
being a little bitch?
Now there are other pitchers, and now okay. Now at first I took it as okay. This guy's, these guys' numbers are going up a lot, so they're cheating. That was my first initial thought. They're cheating, but then one pitcher, Glasnow from the Rays, got injured because he went cold turkey on the spider tack and decided to pitch without it. And he did really good, except he fucked up his forearm because he was using all his muscle force to grip the ball
Right.
in order to throw it. Now, with all of this, they the now you will get a 10-day suspension if you are caught
That's
with it. Yeah, you get a 10-day.
it.
Yeah, a 10. Starting pitchers will have more than one mandatory check per game, and each relief pitcher must be checked either at the conclusion of the inning in which he entered the game or when he is removed. A player who possesses or applies foreign substances and is using it to slip it to the pitcher, they'll also get suspended too. So this shit is like
Yeah.
this is getting they're not happy with it now. My stance on it, and I have a couple of stances on it. Well, first, I'm okay with it as long as you're not using it to. Man, what am I trying to say, man? It's because it's a very. There's one side that says it's cheating, and then there's another side that says it's tactical. But if it's tactical, why aren't you just using the sunscreen in Rosen? Because now they can't even use sunscreen anymore. They're not even allowed to wear sunscreen in the indoor park or during a dusk game. No sunscreen. That's it. No.
Well, my question is, if you're gonna cheat, why the fuck aren't you getting away with it? You should, like, why aren't you getting away with it already? The whole whatever this substance is that was like technically legal. Like, you're a fucking Major League Baseball pitcher. Like, figure it the fuck out, dude. Like, you made it to the big show. Like, why do you need a substance to assist you? And if you're gonna cheat, you might as well just fucking cheat. But get away with it. Don't be a pussy. It's like corking the bat. It's like corking the bat.
Oh,
as long
man.
as long as the bat doesn't fucking break, nobody knows, right? So fucking do what you got to do. I got you. Like in the infantry, man, we always say, like, if you ain't if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You know what I mean?
This
like,
is true. This is true.
But we will smash your face and hammer your ass if you get caught. You get in more trouble for getting caught than you get in trouble for fucking cheating in the fucking army. You get in more trouble for getting caught.
Yeah.
So we teach you to fucking not get caught. So let's talk about some famous spitball pitchers. Fucking Gaylord Perry.
Yeah.
The dude literally revolved his career around
spitball.
On the spitball. He had a fucking character in what was that funny movie Major League with Charlie Sheen?
Yep.
There's a character in that fucking movie. It was loosely based on Gaylord Perry. The old timer pitcher that just had to fucking load the ball every time.
Absolutely, yeah.
That dude was based on Gaylord Perry, basically. He's loosely based on Gaylord Perry.
That's great.
I mean, there are pitchers that they're known for it. Okay, if you're a young 20-something, early 30s Major League Baseball pitcher and you need this fucking sticky tack, whatever the fuck it is, did you even make it? Did you even make it?
Yep. And I agree. I
question that.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh my god, yeah. Why are you using okay? Like I said again, I get it. You want to use pine tar, you want to slide it on your hat. Okay, I get it. You want to use the sunscreen with the Rosen. I get it. But then I also feel bad for Glasnow who got injured for this. But then also I'm thinking you're depending on this substance too much.
Right.
And then, oh fuck! I just had a really good thought. Happy Father's Day, Neil Fizzy.
Yeah, what's up, Neil? That's my boy right there.
Oh shit!
That's my boy. That's that motherfucker right there is from T-Town, Tucson, Arizona. Right, that's
shit.
Neil Fizzy right there. That's my boy.
Fizzy.
Motherfucking Fizzy, dude. Oh man.
And now,
good to see you.
Yeah, and now my biggest gripe about this is towards the MLB. If they think it was such an issue, why did they take so long to address it? Two, why are they doing it in the middle of a season instead of letting the pitchers adjust? I think that the pitcher, I know, I feel like that the pitchers should at least been given enough time to adjust themselves off of the spider tack, because tomorrow is when it's when it's enforced. This is all just happening within the last week. So now I feel like we're going to see a lot more injuries. We're going to see some true pitchers now. And it's funny because I'm almost certain that Garrett Cole is going to be starting August 9th. So that's going to be interesting to see.
Really?
Yeah.
So you get to see him. You're gonna probably get to see him live in Kansas City.
Yeah. So I get to see him bust or do his thing. So it's gonna be interesting. The funniest thing is that this whole thing started because Garrett Cole and another pitcher, Trevor Bauer, don't like each other, and Trevor Bauer pretty much called them on. That's how this whole thing started. That's how the whole thing started.
Basically haters hating, right?
They were on the same rotation in a college team like 10 years ago, and they just had different work ethics, and they hate each other because of it. And Trevor Bauer pretty much was just like, yeah, he's fucking cheating. He's using spider tack, and yeah, that's that.
So they're basically like alumni to the same college. And
exactly. And they're fucking pieces of shit towards each other.
Awesome. That's like, see that just. I'm not gonna lie to you. They both kind of sound bitch made to me. Oh, like the The one dude's kind of bitch made because he needs fucking spider tack to be a good pitcher, and the other dude's a bitch for
Yeah.
fucking calling his homie out.
And it's so funny
Like
too because the way that they describe Garrett Cole is probably the reason why he's in the New York Yankees because he just has that like
Yankees
that
thing. Yeah,
you know that
he's a Yankee.
yeah
He's a
yeah
fucking
yeah
yeah.
you know I'm okay. I get it, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. All right, so that's it with baseball. Also for baseball, the if you guys are interested, the home run derby is July 12th, and
Okay.
I already have a prediction that Shohei Ohtani is going to be the first pitcher to win the home run derby
Ooh,
because
ooh, I like
remember
that. I kind of want to put something on that, dude. Like that's a good
yeah.
damn, dude.
Shohei Ohtani is right now. He is a two-way
Hey,
player for the Angels.
can you put up that thing that you sent me yesterday, or you sent to the admin chat where it's got Babe Ruth and this dude like side by side, their first like. Is there? Do you have that on your computer, or was that
Oh,
only on your?
I think that's just yeah, that's definitely just on my phone. I gotta grab that, but
Let me try to look that up real quick. But John sent me a thing. I don't know if he sent it to me or just to me or the admin chat alone, but it was it's a side by side comparison of Shohei Ohtani and Babe Ruth through the first like 40 something games of their career, and this dude's stats next to Babe Ruth, granted only through the first 40 games or whatever, but he's blowing Babe Ruth out of the fucking water right now. Like as far as like a stat. So interesting, very, very interesting stat and statistic, like to see and he's a pitcher.
yeah,
So
he's a pitcher. He's a pitcher and an outfielder from Japan.
yeah.
26 years old.
Where did you send that? I'm looking right now. I'm not seeing it.
And I can't even remember where I had it too.
Oh, there it is. I got it.
Oh, and
It's in the admin chat.
the,
Can you see this at all?
no, if it's in the admin chat, I'm gonna go get it right now. Oh,
Yeah.
Neil Fizzy's
Shit.
right. Fernando Tatis Jr. The kid is a stud. That kid hit he hit a record career homer the other day, I believe actually. And what Fernando Tatis like his father, outstanding, out fucking standing. I have nothing but I got to go with Shohei. I have to go with Shohei.
God damn it. My girls want to call me right now. I'm telling them they'll have to do it here in a second.
Hey man, this is live, man. This is Father's Day. This is the show, man.
Yeah, but I think they have. I think they hid something for me in the house, and they're probably excited to.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not just a phone call. I'm gonna have to do something probably.
oh shit. No, but yeah, guys. Actually, Tatis Jr. is part of the 2021 Home Run Derby as well as Vladimir Guerrero, who, they're all.
Vladimir, huh? Where the fuck is that dude from?
I think
Guerrero?
Vladimir Guerrero
Fuck,
is.
Where's he fucking from?
He's probably Dominican.
Who the fuck names their kid fucking Vladimir? Like outside of fucking Russia. Where's this motherfucker from, dude? I'm already fucking pissed off at him because
Let's
he's
see.
fucking. Hey, he's Dominican. You're right.
Yeah, hey, let me tell you, the Caribbean produces some of the greatest fucking baseball players.
Undoubtedly. But for Mr. Guerrero, fucking apparently his parents produced fucking terrible fucking names.
Oh man. So on to the bread and butter. So last weekend was E3, guys. I'm sorry guys. Last night I couldn't sleep for shit, so I'm a little off today. As you can see, my hair is all disheveled. But I'm starting.
John was ranting last night. He's been pissed for a whole week straight. John has been pissed for a whole week straight, guys. I've been listening to this guy bitch and moan and cry all week because E3 fucking sucked.
Yeah, so before I get to the rant, I just want to say there were plenty of games I'm very happy to see that I was happy to see. Obviously Starfield, which I was just like, let's fucking go. But where the fuck was Rockstar at? Where the fuck were you at? That's one.
Non-existent.
Nothing with Call of Duty. Absolutely nothing. And
Nothing.
we haven't even
Zero.
gotten a date of when the fuck, excuse my French, when the fuck PlayStation is even doing their panel, because from what I remember, PlayStation and Call of Duty still have a strong partnership. So we have to wait until PlayStation's like, hey, we're going to do this. Now PlayStation has a game called Horizon Forbidden West coming out very soon, and we got nothing. Nothing. What the
Zero.
fuck?
Zilch. Nada. Fuck you. We got a big fuck you from like the whole gaming industry last weekend.
I'm
like,
telling
the
you,
entire gaming industry like just face planted last weekend.
now,
Face planted.
in saying that, Xbox showed up. Even with
Like, they did.
even with their
Yeah,
even with their non-familiar titles and their more kiddish titles, they showed up.
They at least tried.
They opened up with Starfield, and let me tell you, Starfield is going to be fucking good. It's going to be a Han Solo Skyrim in space. It's going to be open universe. You get to go to planets. You have a robot named Basco that travels around with you, and you have to press a bunch of fucking buttons in order to, and you get to build a spaceship. Who doesn't want to build a spaceship? And space fights. So,
Right.
but there was two games that got my attention strongly. Well, first, Forza Horizon 5 looks really fucking good. Really good. But I'll start off with Redfall. So Redfall is it's by Bethesda. If you saw, it was the final trailer that was presented by Bethesda, and it was like it takes place in Boston. It takes place in a place called Redfall, Massachusetts, which I believe is somewhere outside of Boston. And it sounds like, from what I understand, that the city is put into a quarantine zone from vampires. And the game is 4-player co-op. And Jay, the more that I learned about these characters, the more that I laugh about how much the Crow guy is like you.
Oh, really?
And how the British journalist guy is a lot like me. So I think we already know what characters we're going to be playing with when this game comes out.
You're probably right.
But I watched the trailer 100 times, and it's funny because the dude with the crow is named Jacob, and he's silent, he's a soldier, he's the leader, he's the strong type, and then there's the fucking British Indian guy who I compare myself a lot to because he's recording and documenting everything and asking questions.
Okay.
There's even a scene where the girl's drinking the Slurpee. She's like, ugh, tastes like vampire in it. And he pulls out his phone. He's like, there is? What does it taste like? Do you think you're gonna get sick? So, and I'm like, just like, holy shit, that's me. I just want to fucking ask questions. I just want to know about everything. But the game looks really good. It comes out summer 2022. We have a long time until it comes out, but
that does sound like a lot of fun. And that was actually one of the ones that I was also, it kind of piqued my interest a little bit. And I would probably be curious to try it out at least, or at least, give it a whirl, and take a stab at it, as far as playing a new game or playing something different. I like the idea of being able to play a co-op campaign, basically. Like
I love that.
I don't know why more games are not co-op for the story mode. You know what I mean? I get multiplayer, I get co-op, like as like an online thing for different games, whatever. I don't know why more games aren't co-op for campaign. Like, wouldn't it be cool to just like play the campaign with your buddy? Like,
I feel like Call of Duty has missed out on that opportunity so much too.
God. For over a decade. For over, like, what was that game? It was called, we mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Was it Army of Two?
Army of Two, dude. And you want to know something? It's funny. I was on my stream on my own personal stream the other day, on Twitch, and I was fucking around with it, and a buddy of mine came in, and he was playing Army of Two, and we were talking about how classic that game is, and how it pretty much paved the way for two-player co-op games,
Right, and then nobody did anything with it. Like, nobody.
Shit, I'm about to fucking download Army of Two today.
Is it on Game Pass?
I think it's on Game Pass.
Oh, I will play that with you, dude. I will play that with you.
Oh, that shit. Oh, we, we should. I think that you know what that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen when you download it. You let me know when it's downloaded, and we'll play that shit. But that's a game that really paved the way for co-op because it was a full campaign, and it's not the co-op bullshit where you play side level missions that are 5 to 10 minutes long. No, you're playing a full on campaign, and that's what I'm
Right.
very excited about for Redfall. And it's going to be the same thing for Back for Blood, which is coming straight to Xbox Game Pass, and that one I'm actually I think these new games are going to be are good because I actually see you actually downloading some of these games, these co-op games, because co-op.
Absolutely would. I typically, excuse me, I typically enjoy campaign and story modes more than some of the online stuff.
Absolutely, I do
And
too.
and a lot of times I find myself wishing like somebody else could enjoy it with me. Because like video games have come a long way since we were kids, and a lot of times it's like you're playing a movie. And so like you beat a level and there's a little cutscene and you get really, really involved in the story. And a lot of times it's like, fuck, I wish I was sharing this with somebody. I wish somebody was like, watching / playing this, quote unquote movie with me, and a lot of games, most games nowadays, they just don't have that. It doesn't exist. It's either somebody sits their ass down next to you on the couch and they could watch you play, or you're by yourself and that's it. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with getting lost by yourself in a video game once in a while. It's all good. But sometimes I would like to share it. I'd like somebody to enjoy the experience with me. Like going to a movie theater, like taking my lady out to the fucking drive-in, and just, sharing some snacks and fucking watching a movie,
Absolutely.
and maybe making out in the back seat and pretending we were teenagers again. I mean, whatever, bro, whatever.
Yeah, and what would piss me off about, like, I fucking lost my thought. I
Did you smoke your reefer this morning, bro?
I did. No, I did. But I had it like as soon as
That's just, you probably need to.
yeah.
Like,
Oh man, I'm like, oh fuck.
you're all discombobulated,
Oh
John.
dude, yeah, man. And you know what? I fuck, man. I got
Good. You're good, homie. We were talking about cooperative play and freaking story mode.
okay, that's right. So that's what bothers me. Like, so last year there was this whole campaign about saving player one, and I'm just like, why? Who? Okay, I get some people want to fucking
When did player one ever go away?
Yeah,
It's always been player one.
yeah, and
What the fuck?
like, okay, you could just fucking play the game by yourself. No, if you want to play the game by yourself, fucking play the game by yourself. But we've established a gaming community for us to play together. Because gaming is about coming together now. We build communities through this. Look at GTA, as fucking toxic as it is. Look at the community that's there.
Right. Right.
These, whether on and I personally think that co-op is going to be the way of the future. That's why we need more games like Army of Two and A Way Out and It Takes Two and games like that. It's like, dude.
Why I want to know, like, why is everybody getting so fucking scared? Like what is there to be scared of? It's change, and I understand nobody likes change, but when systems and institutions and organizations evolve, they are naturally, by virtue of evolution of things, they're going to change. What in the finger fuck is wrong with games changing? Like, I grew up. My very first entertainment system was called Intellivision. It's literally a Generation 2 console, on par with basically the Atari. But mine, I had an Intellivision, and if I played an Intellivision right now, I mean, I guess I'd give myself bonus points for fucking taking myself back in the day, but it's not going to be the same as playing a game like God of War, or Red Dead Redemption 2, or Ghost of Tsushima. The experience is going to be different. That's because that game, Intellivision came out fucking over 30 fucking years ago. It was like 35 fucking years ago. I was a kid, like a little kid, like a kindergartner kid, playing in television. It's a different experience. It changed. Stuff changed. Why has it taken this long? You know, why is it taking this long to impact your gaming experience by having it be a shared cooperative
I mean,
experience?
look how long it took for games like Elder Scrolls and Fallout to come into a multiplayer game. Those
Right,
games itself,
right.
and the same thing with like Metal Gear Solid. Those games have always been single player games, but then it. I don't know. I just don't understand why people feel that gaming by yourself. I could see in some experiences it could be fun, but I fucking you get the moments out of playing with others. You get the laughs. I saw this clip the other day of these guys in Warzone. They had just come in. They had no weapons, and they were at the airport. Right?
Right.
You ready to laugh?
Oh, here we go.
They were waiting for they found the UAV. They were able to see that there was someone coming upstairs up the tower in the elevator, and these three guys with no weapons waited for the guy to come up the elevator, and they just punched the shit out of him. Like it was the funniest thing, and but it's moments
Like a Call
like
of Duty
that.
beatdown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's moments like that.
Yeah.
You can't get moments like that by yourself. The AI is not going to do shit like that for you.
No,
And
it's not.
and
No.
the next game that I actually found that this game I'm actually surprisingly more anticipated for this than I am Starfield and Redfall. Replaced. It was that cool dystopian trailer. Well, we finally got some information.
Okay.
Replaced is a 2.5D sci-fi retro futuristic action platformer where you play as Reach, an artificial intelligence trapped in a human body against its own will.
Oh, interesante, as I say in
Yes,
Espanol.
sir. Replace combines cinematic platformer, pixel art, and free flow action combat with a deep, engaging dystopian story set in an alternative 1980s Phoenix City.
Oh,
Explore and uncover the
interesting.
mysteries in and
Interesting.
around Phoenix City from the perspective of Reach, who is learning how to be human in a society that has taken a turn for the worst. Everything is ruled by corruption and greed, and the ones in power see humans and their organs as nothing more than just currency.
Interesting. That
Yeah,
sounds like a fun place to live. Not.
this would be, oh, this would be such a good show. It would be such a good like
Yeah,
Hulu show or something like replace like
sure.
it sounds like I mean there's not much out for it, but it just sounds so intriguing to me that like I
Sure.
I need I need to know more. Who is the human that they're putting this AI into? It
Right.
I need to
Absolutely.
know the game. I'm so excited for this. It's a new adventure. It's a new adventure into. It's just a brand new fucking game, man. It. I'm excited because I've never wanted to play a game like this so bad before. Because I, some of these graphics look silly, but I want the cinematic experience. I want the,
Hey, hey.
I mean, you saw the trailer. The dude was talking in a fucking like train station, and you hear the bones cracking, and then boom, boom. Oh, it looks good. The game looks fucking good, and that's
I'm down. I'm down.
that's what I'm ready for. And now, the E3 awards.
Here we go. Here we go.
I don't even know where to fucking start. So like, uh,
Okay.
I'm gonna go down and say who won first.
Okay.
Ubisoft most anticipated game. Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
That,
What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened to
we
Far Cry?
Yeah, I was gonna say we watched the Ubisoft. That's not the most anticipated anything. Like
What happened? What happened to
wasn't
Far
that
Cry?
Wasn't that one of the games we talked shit about when we were doing our live stream on it?
Yeah, that was the one when I was like boring.
Yeah, yeah, boring.
Look. I I have nothing. I don't even, like you said when we talked about the Indian wedding swap. I don't know what to think about this. Far Cry, like what the fuck? Far Cry, Gearbox most anticipated game, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which I understand because of Borderlands has a cult following. So
Yeah, well,
Xbox Bethesda most anticipated game. I would like to argue this, but Halo Infinite won that for Xbox Bethesda most anticipated game. I get it, but I would personally say Starfield. That's just my personal
I,
opinion.
you, as usual, like your excitement for that game is hyping me up.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like you get all excited about shit sometimes, and it's like, and then in my head I'm like, fuck, I kind of want to. I kind of want to see what he's talking
Yeah.
about. He's like really excited about this shit.
Now Halo Infinite, I get why it won most anticipated Xbox game. I get it. I fucking get it. But I don't think it's gonna hold the cake. I really don't.
It's Halo. It's there's nothing wrong with franchise games. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it. You know, inherently at least. There's nothing inherently wrong
I forgot
with a
about this
franchise
game. The Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy game that's coming out. Did you see the preview for that?
No, I did not. I'm not familiar.
I'm gonna have to show that to you. I'm gonna have to send you that link later. That game actually looks pretty fucking good.
Okay.
That
Okay.
will definitely get my fucking $70. PC gaming show. I don't know much about that. Songs of Conquest. Then in television most anticipated game Dolphin Quest. I don't know what the fuck that is. But anyway,
I didn't even know a television still existed. Like,
um, Breath of the Wild 2, which is a Zelda game, got Nintendo most anticipated game. Best presentation was Xbox and Bethesda Showcase, which
yeah, I
I'm
I would agree with that.
now
They Ubisoft fucking sucked dick, dude. Like they were fucking they
Far
were
Cry.
sucking dick.
Far Cry was their only good presentation, and
It really
now
was.
this is where I get a little confused. The most anticipated game overall. Take a guess.
Uh, based off of your body language and general like discontent in your voice, it's probably gonna be something fucking stupid. So you're gonna have to, they announced like 30 plus games, so you're gonna have to
It's
fucking
gonna
tell
be
me.
it's Forza Horizon 5 was most anticipated overall game.
Dude, this is so it's so fucking rigged. Like that, like I don't even know what game you're talking about. Like it's not anticipated for shit. Like
Yeah,
I don't even, I
yeah,
don't even,
exactly.
I don't even hearing guides. You talk about a fucking rigged like award system right there. Like
Yeah.
they everything is fucking wrong on this.
Yeah,
Everything
and
is
here and
wrong.
here's the thing that pissed me off so much about it. Okay, Forza Horizon 5 looks great, but last year they showed Forza Motorsport 8. Where the fuck is Forza Motorsport 8? People want to see Motorsport 8 more than they want to see Horizon 5. Two,
They don't.
there are at least 5 different games that I could choose that were way better than Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, minimum.
You know?
I mean, we're talking, dude. Fuck this, dude. Like this is where it gets really easy to tell that
Cigarette?
somebody made like a casual fucking donation to somebody else, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna make a donation to your cause, and you're gonna give us the award for fucking X, Y, or Z. No, not much different than a fucking lobbyist making a donation to a congressman on behalf of a fucking corporation to make sure that our fucking like national policy
Yep.
is basically like fuck the people and bow down to the fucking almighty dollar. Like that's exactly what that is. Somebody got fucking paid. Like I still don't even know like what is it, a fucking racing game? Like it sounds fucking like ridiculous.
And it's a
That's
good
stupid.
game. It's a good game. I actually play with some of our DD214 members on it. It's a fun
Yeah,
game, but if you're not
But like you
into
said, they announced one last year. They haven't even released that yet, and
Yeah.
the one they announced and the one they announced this year,
It's coming
which
out. It's coming out before the one that they announced last year.
and they yeah, what a bunch of fucking shit. I call fucking bullshit like so hardcore. Dude. Like fuck
And
that,
now,
fuck
and
that,
now
fuck
this
them.
now this is when
Like,
I start ranting. Here we go. Here we fucking go. E3 is the fucking standard of developers showing off what they have worked on.
supposed to be at least.
You know, this was not an award show. This was an op-ed editorial of who they personally feel, and this was voted on by the editors of IGN, E3, Game Informer, all these fucking editors choosing these fucking things. Why? And
They're out of touch. They're out of touch.
and second of all, it wasn't there. There was no stage. There was no okay. I get no audience, but no one was there to accept their awards. No, there was no certificate, no participation trophy. There wasn't anything. You know, they didn't even get to accept their awards. And when I hear award show, the fucking Game Awards was way better than this, and that show was shit.
Yeah, it was dog shit. Dude, this last, I'm gonna say probably the last 8-ish months. You know, let's go back to like maybe like November-ish time frame. There hasn't been fucking shit coming out of the gaming industry. There hasn't been a fucking thing. It's been fucking
It's
crickets.
been shit, dude.
It's been crickets. And they're still not giving anything.
You know, and you brought up a good point in the chat too. A lot of these guys were home working.
They had all the time in the world last year. What else did they have time to do last year? We were fucking everybody and their mom was cooped up for almost an entire fucking year.
Look at Black Ops. Black Ops started development when coronavirus started, and they finished the game on time at home. They finished the whole game at home. The actors did motion capture in their own homes.
Correct.
You know, they finished, you know, and okay, I get it. Not every studio is Activision. Not every studio is Infinity Ward or Treyarch.
Right.
But you guys had the time.
Yeah, there's no excuse. Like there's zero excuse right now. You know, this harkens back to our prior conversations about me getting a next gen console. Like, what the fuck do I need a next gen console for right now? Nothing is coming out. Nothing has been announced for fucking the PS5 or the fucking Series X Xbox. Nothing is coming out. They haven't announced shit. Like it's like you just busted out a brand new console and there's nothing happening. Like, why the fuck would I drop my money when there's nothing to fucking play on it? What the fuck is the point?
No, you're absolutely right. And you know, like, I have to say, like, some titles caught my attention, like Microsoft Flight Simulators coming to next gen. I'm definitely considering going next gen for that.
I would be okay with that too, but I probably can't. I can't really justify dropping that kind of money on a next gen console for that one game though. That's the problem.
No, absolutely.
You know, like that's one of those things where like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit on the fucking. I'm just gonna sit on it for like 2 or 3 years, and wait until there's like a library to actually explore. You know what I mean? Like one game is, and playing one game is really fun and it's great and it's awesome, but that's, you know, Microsoft Flight Simulator is kind of a once in a generation game. I can wait for that.
And I play it on PC, man. Let me tell you, it is so. I caught myself playing a little bit the other night. I was playing for like 2 or 3 hours, just flying around. I was like, damn, this is fucking, this is fun, man.
Is there any cooperative thing in there? Like, can you fly with a friend?
I think there is.
Ooh,
I think there is.
That might be fun. So yeah, like I don't know, man. I've been really disappointed in the gaming industry. Like, I was kind of late. I was kind of late to the game. I didn't get the PS4 until I came back from Afghanistan on my last tour in November of 2018.
Yeah.
So I was kind of late to the game for the PS4. I specifically bought that system because of God of War, which is a PlayStation exclusive, and then Red Dead Redemption 2 had just come out.
And then
So I
later
want,
Ghost of Tsushima came out, and you dove into
and
that.
yeah, and that was like last year. That was late last year, and
Yep.
that's one of those things where it was worth it for me to drop the money to buy a new console because I knew I was going to be spending time, diving into some of the worlds. The PS5, the Series X, Xbox, I haven't seen a fucking thing. Microsoft Flight Simulator, as you said, I can get that I can get that on my laptop. I don't need a fucking new goddamn
That's true.
console
Yeah.
for that game. You know what I'm saying? Like that game is not going to justify me buying a new console. Like, why would I buy a new console when there's nothing out right now that they're doing that's any better than fucking the Xbox One or the fucking PS4.
Yeah, and it goes to show too because a lot of the games that are already on next gen are on the Game Pass on PC right now.
Right.
So like you could
Right.
you could spend a good $1,200 on the PC like mine, and be able to play the game with no issue instead of, and not just play that game, but to play a plethora of games that are between PlayStation as well. Games that are on PlayStation as well that you're not available to because you don't, maybe you don't have a PlayStation, but they are available on PC. So with the, and that's why I'm happy that because I've literally been playing more of my PC lately more than anything, which is
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
it's pretty I like Warzone. I only play Warzone now on my PC. That's it.
Right.
That's literally completely it. And it this is the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really have a good anything to say to what you're talking about because there's nothing nice to say. They had a whole fucking year.
Yeah.
The entire industry had a whole year, and nothing is coming out. E3 fucking sucked.
Yeah, the
Like,
presentation.
Sony didn't even fucking show up. I mean, that by itself is like Sony's just basically saying fuck you to everybody,
Yeah, and-
which they always do.
and
Like,
to
I've
this-
ranted about Sony as a corporation like many times on here. Like Sony can fucking take a diamond and you'll get handed back a polished turd. Like, so fuck Sony in general. But I mean, it's like how did you have a whole fucking year just isolated and by yourself and alone with all of your people and not fucking produce? Like, they didn't do a fucking, like, the whole industry is just face planting right now. There's no new gaming news, nothing exciting coming out. Like, you and me have been bitching for like, it's been months now, like last 2 months straight. Like, no gaming news this week, no gaming news this week. Like, fuck us, dude. Like,
it's been, how are we supposed to do our fucking jobs? Come
Right.
on, guys. Come on, guys.
right.
But even here, it said, just one day ago, PlayStation Experience may be making a comeback in 2021. How come, they have shit to show. They have shit to show, especially their IP Uncharted is coming out with a movie with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, and they could even show that. They have something to show. So what is going on?
Yeah, like well, I'll tell you what's going on because it's fairly typical when you involve massive like multinational mega corporate conglomerates. The consumer's getting fucked right now. The consumer's just getting fucked.
Yeah.
They're just basically saying like, they're dangling a carrot off of a stick, except we're fucking running towards a cliff right now. Like, there's nothing happening. There's literally nothing happening. Like, my Xbox in my room and my PS4 in the living room have just been sitting fucking dead for like weeks now.
Yeah.
I ain't doing shit on any of it. Like, I'm bored. I'm bored.
I see you going on Hulu more than anything now.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm not even a big TV watcher.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I started a TV show. It's I want to say it's on HBO Max, I think. It's Lovecraft Country.
Oh,
Very-
I've been wanting to fucking watch it. It's like a timepiece show, and like it's got
Yeah,
like fantasy shit like that. Yeah.
It's set in the 1950s, and yeah, it's me and my lady. We've only gone through one episode so far. I'm not entirely sold on it yet. I've only gone through one episode, but very, very interesting to say the least. It's set in the 1950s, and it's The main characters are African American, and if you remember, or if you know your history, in the 1950s, there was still Jim Crow laws and
Yeah,
segregation.
yeah.
It's set during that time period, and so there's some very interesting elements to it. And then they kind of hit you in the face with this like fantastical, like, horror, science fiction, whatever the fuck monster shit. And it's like, wait, what? Like what?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
that's what intrigued me about the show when I saw the previews for it, because that there was like a bit of a plot twist that changed like
oh yeah,
the whole
oh
like direction of the show. I've been very interested in watching it, so that's definitely one, because we just finished Handmaid's Tale,
okay, okay,
which I mean, look, the first like two seasons were horror porn. But if you got the stomach to understand the story, then it's actually very, very good. But what was interesting about this season is that one when one good thing happened, a worse thing happened right after that. And that the show. I love the show. I think it's a fantastic. I think it's probably the closest reality that we could possibly have.
that I mean, what the book was based on, right? It
Oh,
was
of
like,
course, yeah.
so I mean, it's, I don't want, we don't like getting too political on this
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. But
The
but
book,
it, it, it sounds.
yeah, the book that was that TV show was based on is, a very,
And we're
I don't know
talking
what
about
you call
we're talking about 1984 too. That I believe
it. Yeah,
that's when the book came out. So if you put the times
it's not.
together.
Yeah, it's not too much to say that, like, it was very much based on a very possible future if certain trends continue, to their evolutionary end.
And it's become
And
relevant
it's
again.
certain Yeah,
Scary
and if certain people and certain entities and certain power structures are allowed to just run rampant, that's a society that could very possibly be a reality.
Yep.
And and to go off of that, I mean, having gone to a place like Afghanistan 3 times in my life, and I've spent 2.5 years of my life in a place like Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Um, on a slightly different level, it's a different level, but very much in the same ballpark. I've been to countries that are subjugated like that. Like, the people are subjugated. They live in
They
fear.
literally lose a finger for
Yeah, they live in fear for the elites that are in charge, whether the elites are religious or whether the elites are a power structure or a political ideology. You see this has already happened in different places around the world, and I love obviously we love our country. We signed up to fucking fight for it. We fought for it. We gave a lot of our lives to defend, the ideals of the American institution. But for anybody to say that it could never happen here, you're on a fool's errand.
Yeah.
It can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter what the country is. It can happen anywhere. You know what I mean? You saw the French had the revolution very shortly after the American Revolution, and what ended up happening? Fucking Napoleon, fucking 20 years later, they ended up having a fucking dictator. You know what I mean? After a revolution that was supposed to topple, the wealthy and the elite and the monarchy, right?
And he's got the highest win ratio ever.
He does, and that's one of the, just goes to show you, like, people can have the right idea, but if it's not executed properly, you're just gonna end up right back at fucking square one.
Yeah. Oh,
And for
yeah.
anybody, the great experiment, as they like to refer to the United States of America as, the great experiment succeeded very, very much
Oh
so.
yeah.
But there's also a lot of flaws in the system, and for people to think that could never happen here, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. And when we allow some of these giant mega multinational conglomerates to wield power, and especially to wield power politically, i.e., fucking using lobbyists to, tell your local congressmen and senators to pass certain laws that are in favor of these fucking shitbag fucking corporations like fucking Nestle, which fucking gets fucking fresh water, for fucking literally less than pennies on the dollar, you know, and just fucking hoard it and use it, you know, like we're talking about water rights. If you guys want to fucking do a quick Google search, Google fucking Lake Mead right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Lake Mead Reservoir is fucking like, it's dying. You know, like the Colorado River feeds and supports several major cities in the American Southwest, and they're running out. They're running out of water, like, and a lot of it is due to, you know, ownership rights and where that water goes and what that water is used for, and it's bullshit. And you know, and we're facing massive droughts. You know, like fire season is upon us again. You know what I mean? Like some places are getting like zero rain.
Cicadas are back again too.
I'm telling you, dude. You know, I'm not trying to be like the negative Nancy this morning, but it's one of these things where like when you watch trends, and especially as you get older, and the older you get, you see trends happen. And when you keep watching these trends, and it's like the people in charge aren't doing a fucking thing.
Absolutely,
they aren't doing a fucking thing. Like people in Texas right now, like the fucking
ERCOT, yeah.
Like, ERCOT, you're right, ERCOT.
The fuck you will.
They failed so fucking miserably when Texas had that winter storm. Over 100 people died because of that, and that's just what we know. The number might be a lot higher. There's a lot of people that think a lot more people died. Over 100 people died. And
they're still dealing with like the residuals of all that too.
And now it got hot. This, you know, we're you know, the American West is going through a massive heat wave right now. And now they're telling their fucking consumers, hey, keep your thermostat at fucking 78, you know, and turn it off and let it sit at 82 at night. It's like, fuck you, dude.
Who sleeps at 82 though?
I've done it in the field, in the fucking army, right? Like these are your customers. It's the consumer.
Dude, it's like 40. It's
what
like
product are you? What product are you providing?
Yeah,
you know
because I sleep at like 45 degrees every night. You know,
you're insane.
You know,
you're insane.
45 to 50 degrees. My air conditioner's on. I like to make sure that my drool is freezing by the time I wake up. You know, oh man, but it's very crazy. It's very weird how, you know, the show has a lot of similarities to what's going on today. But it's a good show, and we just started Loki too, which is on its second episode. Dude. Right. If you're ever confused about the fucking timeline, watch this show because it breaks it down the first like 5 minutes of the show.
There you go. You talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yep, but it's good. And now, you know, yesterday was Juneteenth.
Hell yeah!
Happy Juneteenth to everybody. You know, this is big. You know. I don't, you know, when I think about today compared to last year, how everyone was fighting for this day to be recognized, and you know, I didn't know that June 19th was the day that, you know, that everything was put to an end. I didn't know that, so when I learned that last year, it was very powerful for me, you know, especially because I grew up in a multicultural neighborhood. You know, and you know, right next door to that multicultural neighborhood, there was Jersey City, which was, you know, predominantly African American in some parts. And so so being around these people and being around these cultures was so amazing for me to be a part of because I got a little bit of everything, you know. It was really cool, and it's what's actually really cool. What I thought was coming into the Army. There was a lot more people of color than I thought, and I couldn't have felt more comfortable in boot camp and Fort Lee and going into Fort Benning, being around you guys. It's you know,
it's how it's supposed to be. America's a melting pot.
Yeah, and I love seeing it because there's so many successful African Americans in the Army, and I just feel like it's so right because of the history that the U.S. Army has.
Right. Yeah. And as I previously said, you know, like the great, you know, the United States was called the Great Experiment, and we have had several big stumbling blocks in our history that have given, cause for concern, and we had to pause and pump the brakes a little bit because we're like, no, this is not right. And some of those lessons took a lot longer to learn than others. Our country was torn apart during the Civil War over the issue of slavery, and it still took over 100 years after the Civil War before the fucking Civil Rights Act was ever passed. It is not that far in history. It is not that far back in history that people were still segregated because certain entities, certain power structures were placated after the Civil War, specifically in the South, that allowed this to occur. I was born in 1981. 1981 is closer in time to 1965 when the Civil Rights Act was passed than the amount of time that has passed since 9/11. So it was not that long ago. It was not that fucking long ago. Like, it was still okay to have separate bathrooms for African Americans and white people. And what a bunch of fucking bullshit. What a bunch of fucking bullshit. It was not that long ago.
And I just want to add in too, while living in Fort Benning, my wife and I not me, my wife came across a funeral home that was not serving Caucasian individuals.
Right.
Which I thought was very interesting.
Because a lot in different parts of the South, they still get treated like shit.
Yeah. And I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's become a cultural thing. And how do you blame African Americans for turning around and flipping that coin back on Caucasians, when that's how they've been treated not just their entire lives, their entire generational history. Their entire generational history, their grandfathers, grandmothers, their mothers and fathers, their great grandparents, all the way fucking dating back to the Civil War and before the Civil War when they were fucking slaves. What a crock of shit. I always ask myself the question, it's a very philosophical question, how many fucking Einsteins did we lose by enslaving other human beings? There was probably an Einstein out there who just happened to be a person of color. And we lost that person to history, and their name will never be known. Their grave is unmarked. They are lost to history because we thought it was okay to fucking enslave people. People thought they had a literal God-given right to enslave another human being. What a fucking crock of shit. You want to talk about fucking freedom, man? That's definitely not it. That's definitely not. There is no freedom to enslave another person because freedom is freedom. All human beings should be fucking free. Free to think, free to talk, free to open their minds and be educated, free to become the best possible version of themselves ever. And a lot of those people in history have not had that freedom, even up to this day, have not had that freedom because they're subjugated by fucking class. They're subjugated by structure. They're subjugated by virtue of the color of their goddamn skin. So fuck that. And yes, it's a wonderful thing that Juneteenth is now a federal fucking holiday. It's a great thing. And I know you've got a story, and I love this story, and I want you to tell it about. I want you to tell our viewers and listeners about the history of the Harlem Hellfighters. What a fucking wonderful fucking story that is.
This was a World War I group. And I'm gonna read it. Word. It's a not that big of an article, small article, but I'm gonna read it. So
let's hear it.
All right. So did you know that before? This is coming from the USO.org, guys. So did you know that before the African American National Guard soldiers of the New York's 15th Infantry Regiment became known as the famed Black Rattlers, men of bronze, or Hellfighters of Harlem? They had to just fight to see combat in World War I. But when they arrived in France in December 1917, they expected to conduct combat training and enter the trenches of the Western Front right away. But they were wrong. Those troops were ordered to unload supply ships at the docks for the first months in France, joining the mass of supply troops known as stevedores, working long hours in the port of Nazaire. So we're already, they're coming into the army. They want to fight, but now they're just being put to work. More than 380,000 African Americans served in the army during World War I, and according to the National Archives, approximately 200,000 of these were sent to Europe. but more than half of those who deployed were assigned to labor and stevedore battalions, assigned to tasks that many leaders at the time saw as most appropriate. These troops performed essential duties from American Expeditionary Force, building roads, build bridges, trenches, in support of the frontline battles. In St. Nazaire, the New York National Guard soldiers learned they would work to prepare the docks and railway lines to a major port of entry for the hundreds of thousands of forces yet to arrive in France. The African American regiment was quick and easy source of labor, according to author Stephen Harris in his 2003 book Harlem's Hellfighters. Happy Father's Day, Joe. Oh, wait, you're not the father, my bad, but happy Father's Day to your daddy.
He's a son. He's got a dad.
Yes, sir.
Happy Father's Day, Joe. Happy Father's Day.
And
Thank you for tuning in, brother.
Yes, sir. But the 15th Regiment soldiers had not signed up for labor. They were committed to fighting the Germans and winning the war. They had no place to put the regiment.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Joe. I'm sorry. Fucking Joe, dude.
I'm a fur daddy.
This is a fur daddy.
That's my best bud right there, man. Third ID. There's a lot of third ID guys up in this chat right now.
Good.
But
that's right. We got your 6'2", homie. We got your 6'2".
Yep. So Captain Hamilton Fish said they had no place to put the regiment. According to the Harris book, they weren't going to put us in a white division, not in 1917 anyway. So our troops were sentenced to the supply and services as laborers to lay railroad tracks. This naturally upset our men tremendously. So then, the regiment's best advocate to get into the fight was Commander Colonel William Hayward. In quote, "It was time for us to try to do something towards extricating ourselves from the dirty mess of pick swinging and wheelbarrow trundling that we are in." Hayward said that to Captain Arthur Little, commander of the regimental band. We had come to France as combat troops, and apparently we were in danger of becoming labor troops. Hayward argued his case in a letter to General John Pershing, outlining the regiment's mobilization and training, and followed up immediately with a personal visit to Pershing's headquarters.
Awesome.
This dude. So Colonel Hayward was, he knew the value of a soldier, no matter who you were, what you were.
Right. That's right.
If you're there, if you're there for the job, you're there for a fucking job.
You're a human. You're a human being. You're a human being.
Yep.
You're a human being, and think of all the fucking kings, the giants among men, that have been also African American throughout our history in this country. They've done amazing things, and they've proven every fucking time that it's just a color of skin. You're still a human being. You're still a fighter. You're still kings and queens. The color of the skin does not fucking matter. You're a human fucking being. No. And that's John is going to be visiting me in Kansas City in about a month and a half.
Yeah,
about a month and a half.
Very soon.
We're going to be seeing each other in Kansas City, and I'm looking forward to showing John the National World War I Museum, which happens to be in Kansas City. And
they got to have something about this there too.
Oh, I guarantee you they do. There's all kinds of stuff in there, brother. It's really, really amazing to see it in person. I've only been there once, and I went there right after I reclassed to the infantry when my youngest was still a baby. We went there for a summer trip, and my homies from Fort Leonard Wood when I was a mechanic all visited.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, so when we had Staff Sergeant Bodette on here, him and the rest of the Four Horsemen, as we called ourselves, all visited. They brought their kids, they brought their ladies. I was there with my ex-wife and my kids, and we all went to the World War I Museum together, and it was a really good time, and we had a blast. And I'm looking forward to having a blast with you, my friend, with our families.
There's gonna be there's gonna be so much to talk about, and
Nikki's looking forward to meeting you guys, and my kids will be there, and your kids will be there, and we can
It's
We
gonna
can
be
do it right.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
gonna.
we can. It's gonna be a fun weekend.
Oh yeah,
I swear to God, I'm gonna. You got to tell Francesca, at least Francesca, because Nikki doesn't do roller coasters either. You got to tell Francesca I need at least one more adult because I got both of my kids. I got both of my kids wanting to do the biggest roller coaster there. It's called the Mamba.
I I think I think
Both. I need somebody else to sit with one of my kids.
yeah
Like
I think my
you
wife
know?
I think my wife is gonna do it. She's I'm a pussy when it comes to that stuff. But then again, remember I get motion sickness, so we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Yeah,
Don't
man.
worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's gonna be a good time. And there's a lot of rich African American history in Kansas City as well. You know, you talk about like the jazz clubs and some of these the musical culture. You go back to the 1930s with old style blues and bluegrass, which eventually evolved into what we have now, which is called rock and roll. That came from the African American community. There's a lot of people in rock and roll history that will point to a guy by the name of Little Richard as the actual king of rock and roll versus the
BB
king
King.
Elvis Presley. Elvis, the big argument in the rock and roll community is that Elvis just made rock and roll popular for white people. Little Richard was doing it a long time before he was, basically.
And you got BB King too. You know.
Oh God, it's so many. And what was the name of the dude? The Crossroads dude, the guy that there's the old tale that he sold his soul to the devil to be able to play the
Oh
guitar.
yeah. Oh fuck,
Give me
I can't remember that. I can't remember that at
I'm
all.
pulling it up right now. I'm pulling it up right now. Uh,
And you know what's funny, Jay, that we're talking about music and we're talking about
Robert
jazz.
Johnson. Yeah, Robert Johnson. His name was Robert Johnson.
It's actually
Robert Johnson was a blues player, and the story goes that he was from the deep South. He's from Mississippi, and for a long time, he would go around trying to play his guitar, and he wasn't really that good. And his contemporaries even said he wasn't that good. And then he disappeared for like several months, and when he came back, all of a sudden he was the best guitarist anybody had ever heard. And he was a black man living in the deep South, and basically like living life. He was a legend, like just living life.
oh yeah.
And yeah, like Robert Johnson, like you want to talk about like the grandfather of rock and roll, that would be Robert Johnson. He was a black man, and what a beautiful history, that it was brought to us as part of our country, it's part of our culture, and to recognize Juneteenth as a federal holiday is such a giant step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
In the right
and
final
it's
direction.
and it's so funny that we're talking about music because that's what changed the commander's mind. It says here
Right.
the commander would bring with him the regiment's most formidable
Formidable.
weapon in swaying opinion, the regimental band, lauded as one of the finest in the entire expeditionary force. When the regiment literally laid the tracks for the arrival of the 2 million troops deploying to France, the regimental band toured the region, performing for French and American audiences at rest centers and hospitals. The regimental band is credited with introducing jazz to music to France during the war. The military band would frequently perform a French march, followed by traditional band scores such as Stars and Stripes Forever. And then came the fireworks. The band vocalist and organizer in Harris' account, as the 369th band would play as if they were in a jazz club back in Harlem. In the middle of war. After 3 months of labor, constructing nearby railways to move supplies forward, the regiment's soldiers learned that they had orders to join the French 16th Division for 3 weeks of combat training.
Badass.
Yep. So then they also learned that they had a new regimental number as the now renamed 369th Infantry Regiment. Not that it mattered much to the soldiers because they still carried their old nickname, the New York Black Rattlers. That would be a fucking great.
Badass name.
That would be such a good baseball team name. The New
Black
York
Rattlers.
Black Rattlers.
There you go.
The black troops would see combat, but alongside French forces who were already accustomed to many races and ethnicities already serving in the ranks of their colonial troops. That breaks my heart. That because again we're diving right back to what we were talking about not so long about France, how they've always been our ally, and they don't they were accustomed to many races and ethnicities already serving in the ranks of their colonial troops. Like that one sentence in itself is it just says so much. It says so much, but I'm happy that they were finally given a chance.
Absolutely.
And then it says here, after learning valuable lessons in trench warfare from their French partners, the soldiers of this 369th finally had their chance to prove their worth as combat troops when they entered the front lines, holding their line against the last German spring offensive near Chateau Thierry. The Hellfighters from Harlem leave a legacy as acclaimed fighters. Their value was not lost on the French, and the regiment continued to fight alongside French forces. They had come into their own in spite of their difficult start. The regiment will go on to prove itself in combat operations throughout the rest of the war, receiving France's highest military honor, the Croix de Guerre, for its unit actions alongside some 171 individual decorations for heroism.
Absolutely. Thank you very much to the Harlem Hellfighters.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Harlem Hellfighters.
Yes, sir. And I just, one person. There's a Medal of Honor recipient I was reading about. He's a Medal of Honor recipient, two-time Purple Heart recipient, Private William Henry Johnson. From what I understand, he got his Medal of Honor. He got the Medal of Honor posthumously in 2015 by President Barack Obama during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there were a lot. Yeah. And so here's a historical low point for not only our country, but our military as well. In all of World War II, not a single African American was awarded a Medal of Honor. And that was during World War II. And a lot of them have since received posthumous Medals of Honor, but a lot of them just have gone unrecognized for their actions. And we've taken steps in the military to, I guess, make up for that, I guess. But it's one of those things where, again, people let, biases and, the hate just was so steeped in our culture that they weren't even considered. They just weren't considered. And that's, that TV show I told you about that I'm watching. It's really hard to watch at certain points because it used to be like that, and it was all the way. The TV show is based in the 1950s. It's based in the 1950s,
and that's a whole different, like, that was just the vibe of people during that time. It was kind of like how it is today in a way, where people weren't hiding it.
Right, and it was a lot, Yeah, if you can imagine it being like magnitudes of order worse, where it wasn't just people weren't just not hiding it. They would like actively like come after you, and beat you down, kill you, whatever, just for being in the wrong town or the wrong county or the wrong fucking place after sunset. They make mention in that TV show of something called a sunset town. And if you're not familiar with the term sunset town, what a sunset town was back in the Jim Crow days. A sunset town was a town where it was not safe to be African American in that town after sunset. So basically, like, if you come into a sunset town and the sun goes down, whatever happens, and nobody's going to get in trouble for it. So it's one of those things where, there were a lot of places that just were not safe. It was not safe to be African American, and I'm glad that we have taken several big steps, in the right direction since those days. We still have a long way to go.
Absolutely.
And want to encourage everybody to remember that we are all human beings on this planet. And here in the greatest country that has ever been known to man, the United States of America, we are all human beings, and we're a melting pot. It doesn't matter what your skin color is, and it never will matter. You're still a human being. And we here at DD214 Gaming love everyone for who they are.
Absolutely.
We don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck about skin color. We don't give a fuck about religion. We don't give a fuck about your sexual orientation. We welcome you all, because we are definitely all inclusive here, because we fought for that right. We fought for that right to have that freedom to be whoever the fuck you are. So again, I don't like getting too political on this podcast.
No, of course.
but I'm a big believer in freedom. Big believer in freedom. And I believe in freedom and human rights for all, for everyone.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
So
and I just want to say too that again, like I was saying, that I just felt like the army and African Americans are just they're just so intertwined. Just with with the controversial history to what the army is today, and I feel like you know I've never felt more safe in an environment before than being in the army around people of color, and now we remember a lot of our African American veterans. And I'm not just talking about the celebrity ones like Montel Williams and Morgan Freeman and Ice T, James Earl Jones. I'm talking about guys like Ronnie J. I'm talking about guys like Deshaun Myers, guys like Henry Johnson and Alwyn Cash, Melvin
yep.
Morris, Oleta Crane. You know, it's
Yeah.
it. You
These
guys,
are our these are our brothers and sisters.
yeah,
Just like anybody else would be our brothers and sisters. Like and to not recognize a person because of the color of their skin is it's such a ridiculous concept in our minds today in 2021. But like we said earlier, it was not that long ago where they would have been judged not by the content of their character, but because they happen to be born with a darker shade of skin. And what a bunch of fucking bullshit that
yeah.
is. You know, what a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and again, like I grew up in a very multicultural town, so I feel like I was very lucky to learn of different cultures at a young age, compared to some people who don't know culture. I feel like I was very lucky to grow up in an environment like that because it helped me understand people more. You know, uh, I hear you. So you're from Kansas City. I'm sure it's multicultural there too because it's a big city.
Oh yeah,
So it's the same thing
yeah,
for you.
yeah, and growing up when I grew up in I was born in Kansas City and I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, and obviously Tucson, Arizona, it's predominantly more Hispanic, but of course I also grew up around a lot of African Americans, and I know you've seen the picture on my Facebook of two of my brothers from Tucson. One is black and one is Mexican.
Yeah, yeah,
He's Mexican Indian, and it's like, but the three of us were best friends, and we still stay in touch to this day. Like every time I go back to Arizona, I see them, and there's a picture that my mom took, or one of our moms took when we were knee high to a grasshopper, and it's the three of us together, like hugging each other and just posing for the camera. So every couple of years we'll take another picture, throughout the years.
same
So
way.
I've got a picture of us 30 years after that picture was taken, and we're all adults now. We're all grown. We got kids of our own, and we're still homies. It didn't matter then, and it does not matter now.
Yeah,
So
and that's what it's all
yeah,
about, man. That's what it's all about. And oh shit, we're here. Holy shit, we're here.
look at it. There it is.
Yeah,
We made it.
yeah. Before we get to the final thought, make sure you guys join us next week for our 1 year anniversary of the
1 year.
DD214 Gaming Podcast.
Can you believe it? We
It's
made it a whole year.
it's and let me tell you, we have a lot to talk about next week.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
It's gonna be you guys. I'll tell you guys the history story, my side of the history next week. But I'm being a part of this with you, because me and you have literally been on every single fucking episode.
That's right.
It's been a fucking honor to know you, Jay. Honestly, I just it's been an honor for you to take in a complete fucking stranger and to believe in me and to be where we are today. I appreciate that, man. And we've come literally so fucking far.
We have.
We sometimes we have 3 people watching, sometimes we have 12 people watching. Shit, there was one time we had like I think 17 or 20 people watching at one point.
Yeah.
And we do this, We come to church every single Sunday, baby. You know,
That's right. Right.
we
This
come
is
to
this is our holy place.
you know
This is our holy
we come
place.
to church every single Sunday, and it's just been a fucking pleasure to be where we are today. You know, $10
We're
a
getting
te-
we're getting ready to go on vacation together with our families. Like, and we would have never even known each other if we hadn't been playing games together. You know, and obviously coronavirus helped out a lot with that because we had a lot of extra time on our
oh
hands.
yeah,
But holy shit, man! Like we would have never met. We would have never known each other if it wasn't for this. And you talk about it being an honor, dude. Like it's been an honor and a privilege. Like
and I
you're
actually
you're you're,
and
you're a
I,
good dude.
and I actually have to say, the person responsible for bringing me in is actually the guy in our chat, Joe Poe. He, you know, that's my brother, man. That's my fucking brother, and he's the one I'm actually doing flag for removal with. Which
Right on.
the first episode is out, guys. Just it's just the first one, okay? It's just the first one. Just fucking wait. Just wait. It'll get better. But he brought me. He was the one that found DD214 gaming and brought me into it.
Right.
So
Right.
if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have even met you guys. So shit. I'm not trying to get to we gotta get to the final thought, but we'll get into it next week. But I just have to say that it is I know I got the brother for fucking life.
Absolutely.
I know I got a brother
Absolutely.
for fucking life, and that's this has been mentally fulfilling for me. It's given me a sense of purpose, and I thank you, man. I thank you, honestly. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. And I just want to send a shout out to everybody in the DD214 gaming community. When I joined DD214 gaming last year, we had less than 24 dozen. We had less than 24 people. We were just barely above 20 people in the group, and there's over 500 now, and it's still growing. And it's been amazing watching this community grow. And I see the streams on our page all the time. People streaming their gameplay, people putting up memes and putting up funny stuff, and the friendly banter between different military branches. Supporters, like spouses and loved ones of military members that are part of our community. We welcome and we love you all. We welcome and love you all, and thank all of you. It's been a fucking year. It's definitely been a fucking year. Like, so yeah.
Yes. And in saying that too, don't forget, guys, you are never alone. If you don't want to talk to us or write to one of us, if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can hit the suicide prevention hotline at 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-8255. Someone is always there to hear your story, and if you don't want to call them, you can text them. Someone is there, guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't forget to comment, like, and share. Also, if you guys are whatever you're listening to the podcast on, we fucking leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you would like to see. And yeah, stay tuned, guys. We're gonna see you next fucking week for the 1 year anniversary of DD214 gaming, guys.
See you guys next time. Love you, John.
I love you, my brother.